But Negro wasn't a slur.
Can I just ask a question about the African American? Like, do we really need to put, like, I think we know where you guys are from.
By the way, some people don't like the term African American.
No, I'm being serious.
So like, I mean, we're all technically African American.
I understand they're trying to be like respectful, right? They're trying to be like, okay, how can we have another term that's not Negro? It's like, oh, what about African American? It's just like, yeah, like there's one continent where black people are from.
Well, all people
in the world.
Let's be for real, all people.
Yes, all people. I'm saying, of course, but it almost makes more sense to be like European American or Australian American or whatever American. It makes more sense to point out where white people are from because there are white people from all these different areas.
Maybe not though.
We know where black people are from.
Not necessarily because it's the Caribbean too. The Caribbean's heavy too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
so not necessarily because if that was the case, technically all of us would be African Americans, right? Because
that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is they're trying to be polite by doing the most obvious thing.
I don't know if that's obvious though.
That black people are from Africa?
Not all black people.
Those black people from the Caribbean, where were they from?
They came from Africa, but that's the case. Everybody's from Africa then. So I don't know if that.
What's going on?
And you have Americans
Everybody
here.
at home. What's going on right now?
No, listen.
What the fuck is happening?
If you shut the fuck up and listen, you have Americans here who don't like to be called African Americans. They like to be called foundational Black Americans because some people feel like they were here.
If that
they feel like they were here before the slave ships brought black people from Africa.
Oh wow!
Especially if you go to like down south, people in South Carolina, people in Virginia, like they feel like they were here, just like Native Americans. They feel like, and some people feel like Native Americans were black people too. Yeah, not all of them.
Some natives believe that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think I think it's a little bit more nuanced than just saying all black people are from Africa.
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's this name, there's this label that is brought up. Before we felt comfortable just going black and white, right?
The caste system, yes.
Well, sure, whatever. Now we just go black. And black is all encompassing. And it's just like, okay, whether you're from the Caribbean, you're from Africa, it doesn't matter. Black, that makes sense.
Well, Caribbeans hate that.
Caribbeans hate being called black people?
Yeah, Caribbeans want to be called what they are. They want to be called Jamaican. They want to be called Haitian.
Well, that's different. That's what country, that's your nationality. That's not your race.
That's how they feel, though. They don't want to be referred to as black.
So they don't want to have a race?
No, they'll get upset about that.
Well, they should be called Jamaican because they're from Jamaica. That's a nationality. We're conflating two things. There's nationality and race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so black Americans here, we don't have country. So that's why they have to just the engulfing term of African American.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware of this. I'm trying to explain it to you guys.
No, but why'd you say it's a dumb thing?
It's obvious.
It's not, though. You just explained
it is obvious, but what other term would they
No. I guess, okay, let me back up. Everybody just take a fucking deep breath.
You mean it's obvious why they refer to people as that?
No.
Why?
You don't need to say that a black person has roots in Africa because there's one place in the world where black people come from, Africa. So I don't think you need to go African American. You're like, it's already self-explanatory. We can see, we know. White people, wait for it. White people happen to be from a bunch of other places in the world. What I'm saying is it almost makes more sense to have the descriptive word before white people. So if you had black African American, you could have European American for white people, or Australian American for white people, or fucking Argentine American for white people, or South American American, whatever the fuck you want to say it. I guess what I'm saying is because it's not as self-explanatory for us.
What's interesting is that some people would say what you just did is a form of white supremacy, and I'll tell you why.
No, it's because you haven't paid attention for the last 10 minutes, and it's driving me crazy. I'm making the argument.
Yes, but
No, you're not listening, and it's starting to fucking drive me crazy. I'm making the argument
that all black people are from Africa.
No.
You just said that.
The oppressive term.
Yes.
Okay. African American is in some ways oppressive because it acts as if the black people that are in America, right, aren't just Americans. They're from Africa, Asian Americans, African Americans. Why is it the white people just get to be American and then all these other people are Mexican American, Asian American, whatever? Okay? What I'm saying is...
They do say white Americans.
Oh, my God, you're not listening again.
They do.
No, it's fine. Nobody says white American. The reason why it's oppressive is because white people just get to be American and everybody else gets to be this word American.
You know he just changed the argument.
He did.
I haven't fucking paid attention.
You didn't explain it that good the first time, I'll tell you.
My whole point that I'm trying to say is...
And I'm going to tell you why it was so slick. I'm gonna tell you why I was so slick. He changed the argument to say, yeah. Now you're like, yeah, that's right. Well, how come we don't get to just be Americans? That's not what you were saying.
No, you looking at my haircut and you're assuming racism, which is your prejudice because you're a fucking racist.
No.
You're a racist. What I was trying to say from the beginning is the other ones are so obvious. When you look at, you don't have to say Asian American. I'm looking at you, buddy. I fucking know. But I fucking know.
But
so what I'm trying to say is,
didn't you just
let me get it out.
But don't you negate the existence of Jewish people, Scottish people, any white person that's from another, any person of pale skin that's from another country?
I'm not done. You're not letting me finish. If you let me finish.
I just gave him another point to finesse. Watch.
Okay, ready? The woke argument I was trying to make, but you guys assume it's racist because of my haircut. The woke argument I was trying to make is that nobody else needs that label. What is it called? A noun or something before American. What is it?
Adjective.
Adjective?
Yeah.
It is? No one else needs the qualifier, right? No one else needs a qualifier because Asians are from Asia. We get it. We know you're from Asia.
But Black they do say Asian Americans.
I'm just going to keep talking. Black people are from Africa.
They say Asian Americans. It's on the census.
And that's what I'm saying is wrong. Just try to, the way you think about what I'm saying, if you just think the opposite, anytime I say anything to you, think the opposite, that's what I really mean.
Okay.
Okay. So, the Asian American, we know you're from Asia. We don't need it. African American, we know you're from Africa or your roots come from Africa. We don't need it. White people just get to be American when that's the most confusing because white people are from several fucking continents. You could be a white person from Argentina. You could be a white person from Australia. You could be a white person from Syria.
I don't know about that.
You could be a white person from Afghanistan. You could be a white person from all these fucking places. So what I would say is if there's one fucking race that happens to be all around the world that you should add the descriptor before you do an American or the qualifier, it's white people, not the others, because the other's more obvious.
Let me tell you what a flaw.
I'm woke.
Yes, but let me tell you what a flaw in your argument
and you're not letting me be woke. I'm going back to racism.
The flaw in your
argument.
Being
woke too hard.
Listen, the flaw.
Being woke too hard.
The flaw in your argument, and that's why I said earlier, what you say could be considered a form of white supremacy, is you're making it seem like there's black people nowhere else in the world but Africa. So you think that in the history of the world, in the whole existence of the world, there was only black people on this one continent. They didn't exist nowhere else on the planet.
They did in smaller numbers.
I don't know if they were small or large. I'm just saying, like, they had to exist other places. And that's the argument that other people have. Like, they say, okay, people came to America, but they were indigenous people, black people already here.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
But see, this is all about what you believe. But some people would say that's a form of white supremacy.
Yeah.
That's all. You get it?
I mean, you could say anything's a form of math is white supremacy. I don't agree with it. I think it's fucking Asian supremacy.
I'm just saying that, but I just think common sense would say there had to be black people all throughout the world. Just like there had to be white people all throughout the world.
I'll be honest with you. I think the best argument for there being black people throughout the world is like the black people that built all the pyramids in Egypt and Sudan. If there was, I assume that they were like a higher form of intelligence and a higher form of technology. And if you were able to do that, you can definitely build a boat and like sail around the world. So I could see them exploring the world 100%.
Listen, I think that we know, just basic logic tells us there had to be humans of both hues from the beginning of time. And they probably were all over the place.
Not from the beginning of time, no.
It has to be. It's like it'd be silly to think otherwise. Like,
no, I think we started out as black. And then I think that the ones that went further north, they needed to absorb the sun better, and they lost the melanin that protected them from the sun. And they also needed to, what was it? I think people with blue eyes are very sensitive to sunlight. Well, when there is no sunlight, you need, I guess, as much of it as you possibly can. So I just think that they lost the pigment. I think we all started out as black 100%. I'm black.
Listen,
I'm black.
I've heard that theory a million times. I don't know. Like,
so you think they're just white people and black people both living in Africa, white people just getting sunburnt to a fucking crisp every single day, black people living and thriving, and then the white people just go, maybe we should go up north. We're built better for it.
We had a guy on this morning. It's a new artist. His name is Stefan Benz. Stefan's 6'2", blue eyes, blonde hair. You know what I'm saying? You see him, you probably think he was from fucking
Finland.
Ohio.
Yeah.
South African. Speaks the native tongue of whatever. I forgot the exact languages. I don't say native tongue because there's a bunch of them. But speaks the language.
You know that Great Britain colonized South Africa. and they brought white people down there.
So but talking about, so you think white people?
Oh yeah, the Dutch
So
too.
you think that's the only time white people were ever in Africa? You think it didn't happen until then?
No, I think it happened. I think it happened. But the Romans got down there 100%. The Greeks got down there. I think white people went down there a bunch.
Okay, but he's still South African. Is what my point.
Yeah, but his roots are from what is the?
He's only 16. All he knows is South Africa. Is my point. That's what he speaks. You know what I'm saying?
I love you.
It's the truth, though. Like, I just think it's ridiculous to think that there was only one race on all these other continents and only black people in Africa.
So you think he's like a fucking albino buffalo or something like that? Like he's the only white
all I'm simply saying is I feel like black and white have existed for thousands of years all throughout this world in various places.
Hey, guess what? They've existed for hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years.
That's all I'm saying throughout this whole world. That's it. That's all I'm